Back to Educator.com's AP English Language and Composition course. This lesson is a multiple choice practice session. Let's get started. All right, we're going to begin with a lesson overview. We're going to talk about the source passage, what we're actually going to be working on today. We're going to talk about how to read the passage. Then we're going to go over the answers to the big picture questions and the detail questions one at a time. Now, the source passage for this lesson is the first passage in the College Board's 2008 multiple choice section. It's available in the course description for this course on the College Board website. You'll find a link down in the quick notes. So if you can pull that up, you'll be able to see the passage that we'll be talking about and all of the questions. Now, this lesson will only cover the first passage because we're going to go in depth. We're going to look at everything really closely. And the rest of the passages will be covered in the walkthrough at the end of this course. So if you want to find out how to handle all the other passages, move to the end of the course. All right, to begin with, read the passage in the section. Look for the big picture. Now remember, you read the passage first before you read the questions so that you can avoid some of the traps. So as you read, try to get the main ideas, look for the overall structure of the passage, pay attention to the author's goal, tone, and point of view. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to do your reading. All right. There are 10 questions associated with this passage. Questions 1 and 2 are details questions. They ask about specific things, they have line references, they're detail-oriented. Question 3 is a big picture question. It's an overall kind of question. Questions 4 through 7 are details again. Question 8 is a big picture. Question 9 is a detail. And question 10 is a big picture. We're going to start with the big picture questions. So question 3 is asking for an extended analogy in the text. So you go back and you look at the text, what analogy does the author use at great length? Look for the simile. That's the hint for analogies. And now remember, you may know this from English class, the word simile is a comparison using like or as. In this case, you're looking for the word as it appears in line 10 and the following sentences. So that's your clue that where your extended analogy can be found. The analogy, as it happens, compares writing to conversation and writing in a familiar style to reading aloud fluently. So there's your analogy. You want an answer that aligns with that concept. Now you can eliminate choices A and B because the passage doesn't actually make a whole lot of mention of morality. It just doesn't pop up, so morality is not going to be part of your analogy. And it never mentions acting or the theater except to warn the reader against declaiming like an actor does, and that's very brief. So we can eliminate A and B. You can also eliminate choice D because the analogy between vulgar English and incorrect pronunciation appears only briefly. It's just a quick little thing and then it's gone. And you can eliminate E because it is completely off topic. So, by process of elimination, that means that your answer is C. All right, let's look at question 8, the next big picture question. What technique or tone does the author use to accomplish his goal? Well, choice A sounds promising. The line that they're referencing reads as if it's sarcastic, so a mocking tone would make sense. You can eliminate choice B, though. It's not really a paradox. Remember, a paradox is where you use two seemingly contradictory things or a seemingly self-contradictory statement to state a truth. But in this case, there's no contradiction, so it can't be a paradox. You can also eliminate choices C and D. The author doesn't really talk a whole lot about popularity, and he is definitely not defending Samuel Johnson. In fact, he seems to have a very low opinion of him. So you can eliminate those. Finally, you can eliminate E because the author specifically advises the reader not to write like that. There's like, no, 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 this is the negative example. So what you want is something else. So your answer is A. Now notice that all we said at the beginning was choice A sounds promising. The thing about process of elimination is sometimes you'll have to choose between well maybe and probably not, in which case go with well maybe. All right, question 10, our last big picture question. What is the author's tone? Now you may remember from our last lesson that if you're looking for tone, you look at the language of the passage and the overall feel of the writing. How does the writing make you feel? How is the language used? What kind of vocabulary is in there? Those are all clues to tone. So, choice A does not look too good. It uses the words harsh and strident. Those are clues. They're extreme words, and this isn't an extreme passage. So, if you're not dealing with something extreme, you probably don't want an extreme answer. There's no reason to disqualify choice B. It's perfectly good. Might be. You can eliminate choice C because the author is not trying to conciliate. Now remember, if you studied your vocabulary, conciliate means come to common ground, compromise, make up with somebody. Author's not trying to do that, so conciliatory is not really what you're going for. You can also eliminate choice D. This passage is opposed to superficiality, so the tone is not superficial. You can finally eliminate choice E because the passage doesn't seem especially optimistic or pessimistic, for that matter. So enthusiastic and optimistic doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Process of elimination, your answer is B.